Hey guys, it's Junior. Welcome back to my channel here at Horsepower Warehouse. We have 2 new Corvette purchases this week in addition to another muscle car that has popped up as well. So let's dive right into it. I also want to show you guys what we've accomplished in the shop. So we have some cool stuff to go over. So let's dive right into what we've got going here. First and foremost, Corvette number 1 that we've purchased. 78 here. I know this channel as a total does not give a lot of love to the C3s. It's not because we don't love these cars. It's just that, you know, we're more of a C2 specialist. That's primarily what my shop is filled with, mainly because that's where the market is. All the money right now is in the C2s. For frame off restorations, my specialty, you know, it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense for a lot of these cars to go as deep as what we do here with the C3s. Nonetheless, if you can find one in, you know, condition like this, these are absolutely fantastic cars. In terms of restoration, it's about the same, if not a little bit more work to restore one of these versus a C2, and the final value of the car just hasn't caught up yet. So that's my speculation as to why we don't have so many of them here. But we did just purchase this one. This thing's freaking really nice. I like the two-tone silver with the darker gray. Of course, that light interior. We may do a carpet kit in this. I'm still heavily considering it. It's nice considering it's all original, but if I replace the carpet kit, you know, it's gonna look absolutely sharp. Doors shut nice. Yeah, so I didn't want you guys to think that we don't have any love for C3s around here, because we do. It's just that I don't restore a whole lot of them. Let's go into car number 2 that we've purchased. And this is the one that I'm going to use for the thumbnail. Check it out. And I got the paperwork there on the windshield. I'm going to show you guys, but 72 Chevelle SS. Paint is just killer on this car. Just killer. It is a little dusty. I apologize, guys. We haven't really detailed it yet. I don't think Senior has done photographs on it either, but yeah, really cool. Factory 8-track. Just a super neat car. Let's take a look at the window sticker. So you can see vinyl top, center console, hood and deck strip, posi track axle, front disc brakes, power brakes. It is a 400 4-barrel with 4-speed dual exhaust power steering. So yeah, real deal car. And then, yep, Protecto plate actually there behind it. So the stuff you want to see to authenticate such a vehicle. Man, I love the Chevelles. And you can see we have the heavy Chevy behind it. Comment down below, what do you guys prefer in terms of years? I mean, would you like, or even a factory car versus a modified car? Our heavy Chevy, if you're not familiar, this one's got a fortified engine, long tube headers, aftermarket intake and carburetor, you know, hotter ignition setup. This thing, when you start it up, you know it's nowhere near factory. Of course, you know, built correctly and done very nicely, but a completely different build than something like this, where you have just a OE car as it left the factory. I really like the black and orange. You guys know I'm a Halloween baby, so I love the black and orange on almost everything. But let's just keep it rolling, guys. Car number 3 that we have purchased this week. I'm not gonna make any promises about this one because I don't know exactly what we're gonna be doing with it yet. So 1965 Red Coupe, 4-speed side pipes. I mean, a pretty dang nice car as it sits. I'm gonna bring it through my shop. We're gonna give it kind of a once over. I know it needs a carpet kit for sure. I'll show you guys. It's got the original carpet in it. I mean, the sills are scratched. Seats are in fabulous condition, but you see how faded the carpet gets over the years. That was once this black. It seems like out here underneath this big glass window, the UV from the sun just absolutely bakes this area. That's why it's so heavily faded back there, but that's indicative of original. That's what you actually want to see. So yeah, so we're definitely doing a carpet kit. I don't know how deep I'm going on this car yet. Me and Senior usually get a plan together, and you know, I'll talk with him about, you know, what our budget is, where we're trying to have this car lie in terms of, you know, we're gonna represent it as, how much we're gonna ask for it, and then I try to shoot for that mark and make it as nice as I possibly can. This car is really decent. Speaking of values on these Corvettes, let's backtrack, because I showed you guys this one last week, the 66 Red Coupe here. This one is getting ready to leave. It got sold out before I could even touch it. So 66 Red Coupe. I'll show you guys under the hood here. Original engine. It's not seized up, but as you can see, I mean, everything under here needs rebuilt. You can see it's got some body damage. It's not an aftermarket front clip or rear end or anything like that, to my knowledge, but as you can see, the paint is far from beautiful. What do you guys think this car is worth? You can see it has NCRS shipping report inside of the car. I want you guys to get a value in your head, a dollar amount. I'm about to tell you what this car actually sold for, and we had several buyers at this number. What do you think it's worth, guys? $50,000. 50 grand we sold that car, and we had no less than 4 people lined up to buy it at $50,000. So yeah, these cars are, the value on the C2s is doing this. I mean, it's pretty incredible. We're having a really hard time finding and replacing these cars. I mean, it's nuts, guys. I can tell you this, 5 years ago, that was not a $50,000 car, but today it's every bit of it. So you want to put a valuation on what a good donor car? Let's, a rare glimpse into Junior's office, by the way. Look at this mess that I got going here. You can tell I don't spend a whole lot of time in there. It's not even air conditioned. That's my incentive to keep on the cars. As we come back through the shop here, Sean has been doing an incredible job this week on my 67, 427, 435 horse. I'll show you guys the interior. This car, if we were left to just this car, we could have it done in a week. That's how close we are to having this car done. Good thing I have long fingers. So dash is in, everything is fully dyed. All of the trim, all brand new headliner, all of the halo panel in the back and the rear window trim, all of the carpet is installed in the rear. This car is coming out absolutely gorgeous, if I may say so myself. I don't like to pat myself or my guys on the back, but man, this is just absolutely fantastic. You can see brand new wiring harness in the dash. Everything is completely rebuilt under there. So if you were to look up under that dash, it looks like a brand new car. We don't skimp on anything on our builds. Let's go ahead and give her a gentle click, click. Still waiting on air conditioning for our 65 frame off. Once I get done with the 67, I am very hopeful that we'll have the air conditioning for this car here so that we can just go full Monty on this one and get it done as fast as we're getting this one done, because the guy that purchased this, I'm sure, would love to be able to enjoy the decent weather that we're experiencing here in Florida. We spent 4 days or 5 days just scraping and sanding and lacquer thinnering the bottom of our 64 365 horse. So it's coming out well. This is not a fast process. There's nothing that isn't tedious about this. It just takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, and it shows. When you're doing paint, it's all in the prep. It doesn't matter if you're doing exterior paint or you're painting a chassis on a car. It's 95% of the work is in the prep, and then the final 5% is in the actual laying of paint down. And that's where a lot of people get confused. If you're not familiar with paint, you know, you think it's all in how you apply. It's got nothing to do with that, or very little to do with that. It's all in the prep. Our 427 here, this is what I've been working on this week. In between trailer repair, you can see my father's enclosed trailer is blocking the doorway. But we've got engine out on this. I'll show you the engine bay. I haven't painted anything yet, but to me, this looks absolutely fantastic. I love this as a starting point. So it means there's not a whole lot of work for me to do. It's just basically clean up and repaint, you know, not a tremendous amount of prep work and so on and so forth. This engine bay is gorgeous to me to start with. You can see what we took out of this car, and the whole reason the engine is out, besides repainting everything, which we did. Aftermarket bell housing, first and foremost. It's got that QuickTime bell housing. We want to put a factory aluminum bell housing. It's got a Y-end water pump there. It has an MSD ignition, aftermarket intake, Demon carburetor. You can see the MSD billet distributor with the MSD wires. So we're taking all that out. We're storing it all back to factory. This is not going to have a huge performance loss. I know you guys would think that all this stuff amounts to a big performance gain. Honestly, I mean, the MSD 6AL there is not necessary on this combination until you go with, you know, high rise or a big cam and, you know, high compression pistons and so on and so forth. Once you beef up the motor and task the ignition system of that, then you can really see the gains on this. But we're going back to factory, make this car correct. I mean, the rest of the car is gorgeous, so that's where this car needs to be. I'm happy to be able to do it. This were my personal car, and you guys know I'm a drag racer. I'm building a 2,000 horsepower Fox body over there. If this were my car, I would be taking all this stuff off too. So just out of respect to this thing is gorgeous. All right, but thank you guys so much for joining me this week. I hope you enjoyed the content. I mean, 2 new Corvettes and a Chevelle ain't bad for a week. We've been kicking butt. I'm so thankful to have Senior back taking care of the front. He's doing all the sales and, you know, talking with customers, running the phone. So I'm back on the saddle back here in the shop. I love working on cars and being with my guys, you know. I've got my fingers in every one of these projects. These are all my babies. So I thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey of classic car restoration. If there's anything else you want to see, I'm always open to comments. I read every one that you guys write me. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Until next time, take care.